Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Hello, hello. Hello. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 130 people in 9 different countries this time. And the theme is be a spiritual badass, which I love that theme. That should be the sub theme of every healing I ever do in my whole life, basically. Um, I'm not seeing what I want to see. That's annoying. I hope this is working. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Yeah? All right, good. For some reason, I can't see the chat. YouTube is having a cow on me. Well, anyway, I will click around as I talk. Hopefully, I'm able to see chat soon. But anyway, okay. So we already did the triplet set of this theme, be a spiritual badass, and total proof that you can't exactly predict what's in the healing based on the theme. We worked a lot on the shoulders and unblocking the shoulders in like this really huge way, not just to help your personal power. I mean, not just to help, release physical tension, but for spiritual power and manifesting, which I think was very effective. And we did digestive system work too, because digestive system can be like an Achilles heel, like as far as energy safety and boundaries, like somebody, like an expression like punch to the gut, and so if you have invasive energies sort of making your intestines work less ideally than they would otherwise, based on what you're eating and your health, that's a problem. So we worked on energy safety for the digestive system. We cleared it out and healed it, and we may do some of that. Maybe not today, but digestive system is good, and that was very effective. So that's on the maybe pile more for Tuesday, not for today. Shoulders work though. I'm going to continue a little bit of that today just because it was so huge. We unblocked different patterns of like classic areas that get blocked that impact the shoulders. I mean, within the shoulders, but like going out this way and this way as if it's like an X if you're looking down. We unblock that way, and also a V pattern of blocks that is sort of classic for the shoulders. We unblock there and there to unblock the shoulders. And the one that I'm going to do more of today for sure is the tree trunk pattern of sort of classic ways in which your shoulders can get blocked up spiritually. Is you can have invasive energy that comes in because of some energy blocks in the upper layers of your auras, above your head, and then it looks like a tree trunk, the invasive energy. It'll come down and, like the flare at the base of a tree trunk, it's called the root flare. You may not know what it was called, but you've seen it before. If you look at the tree trunk, you can see like the tops of the roots and stuff. That's the root flare of a tree, and you're not supposed to bury that. Fun fact, you're not supposed to put soil over the root flare of a tree. But anyway, but it looks kind of like that, the invasive energy, because it'll come down from above because of energy blocks there, and then it can anchor into your shoulder joints and upper chakras, and even hip joints. So it could be like a bigger tree trunk effect too. So it can hook into chakra, along the spine chakras, but then the shoulder joint and the hip joint. So I think that would be fun to work that more. So tree trunk pattern with shoulders and hip joints. shoulder and hip joints. I think that would be especially beneficial to do today. But the bigger thing I wanted to emphasize today, let me get back to my the special emphasis for today. So big letters there. The special emphasis for today I wanted to do is under pressure. That a lot of times when people clear their energy or de-stress, you know, or do energy healing for self-improvement, the instinct is to create tranquility, you know, like find the quietest part of your day or the quietest part of your house and, meditate there, right? But the thing is, you really want to be a spiritual badass when the shit hits the fan, so to speak. Excuse my French. If you have children around, just let them know that I'm in my 50s, and when they're in their 50s, they can swear like a sailor too. but so you want to be able to clear the blocks that trigger when you are under pressure, when unexpected things happen. And so sometimes you do the exact opposite accidentally, with this impulse of creating tranquility to meditate. You're basically training yourself to relax when you're in a low stress situation. But what you ideally want to do, I would say, is train yourself to be more relaxed and present and in control in high stress situations, right? Because that's when you most need it, right? So you don't have to, create high stress situations and then meditate in those situations to do that. We'll just keep triggering. Okay, well, what triggers when you're under pressure, and we'll clear it. What triggers when you're under pressure, clear it. But it's going to be a specific focus today to make sure that we address your issues that are most pronounced when you're under pressure. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to see if I can get my chat comments, because it's a little bit unnerving not to see your live chat comment. If I can. Ah, thank God. I got it. Phew. Phew. See, under pressure. The whole point is, can you keep your shit together when unexpected things happen? And I have a good story about that, actually. Thanks for my emojis and all the confirmations. I do really appreciate that. It helps. Okay, so now I want to explain okay, so angel assisted accidents, in quotes, accidents, right? So this is a thing that I think I always, this is like one of the things that would be cool to explain, but sometimes it just doesn't come up in a healing. So, maybe it comes up like in a Q&A, but then it's not as emphasized. People might not listen to the Q&As at the end. So Angel assisted accidents are or mistakes is when you make a mistake, but the angels made you do it. It's like, I mean, obviously I can make mistakes all by myself without angel help, right? I can have accidents, make mistakes, and the angels didn't make me do it, right? And same for you. But sometimes you make a mistake or an accident and it's the angels literally made you do it. And it generally is for learning, or there's some reason they're protecting you, or, like they're helping in some way. And so I like to bring this up because it's like a learning thing to realize, like, it's not every time you make a mistake or you make an accident or an accident happens, there could be divine intervention involved that made it happen. Not always, of course, for sure. People can just make mistakes, definitely. But sometimes you can learn extra if you're aware and you kind of double check with your intuition. Okay, was that just a plain old mistake that I made, or was that angel assisted and I was supposed to, they did that for my learning or for my protection or something. So an example, of course, I happen to have an example of an angel assisted accident or an angel assisted mistake is that I consciously did not know today's healing was today. I had prepared for it and I was ready energetically, like 1,000% ready. And I had been thinking and meditating of things, and but consciously I didn't know that today's healing was today. Because it's the third Sunday of every month, and so sometimes it's the 18th, sometimes it's the 20 something, so I have to, it's possible to mess that up. Sometimes my husband does it, sometimes I do it. He'll schedule something and I'm like, that's the first Friday, that's the triplet set, or I'll whatever, right? So that's just a plain old mistake. But this wasn't a plain old mistake. Like, the angels literally wanted me to, within like an hour, have to do all the work that I was going to do yesterday, like make the event, email people, print out the healing sheets, do that all like this morning, after I found out that today was indeed the first healing and not next Sunday, right? So in this case, it was completely an angel assisted thing. They were testing me, how I am under pressure. And it was an advance agreement. I agreed on the astral that, I really want to learn and get better and better at this. And I thought it would be a cool sub theme for this twin set. And so they're like, all right, but we're going to trick you. I'm like, all right, go for it. So I didn't know consciously, which is pretty weird because, like, I'm usually very, obviously it's the most important thing I'm doing all month. So, but it forced me to, test how I am under pressure, with an unexpected event, like something unexpected. That's when, like you're there are deeper energy blocks that can trigger STEBs. Stubborn triggered energy blocks can trigger when you're under pressure. Unexpected things happen. Unprocessed stress pots, like that technique we do to clear out backlog of processing, so that if something unexpected happens, you're good and you're clear-minded about it and you can proceed well. So anyway, so the angels basically tricked me with my agreement. So it was an angel assisted accident or an angel assisted mistake, that I didn't email clients last night. I emailed them this morning. And thank you to the first client who emailed me this morning to say, I thought I paid for this twin set. Am I not in it? Because I didn't get last night's email. Funny. Because I had been meditating and I was like, I was ready, but I didn't know that I was ready. I didn't know that today's healing was today, but I was ready. I'd been meditating and, everything was in place except the conscious knowledge. But that's the point. The point of it is when things happen that surprise you, you know, and you haven't, because it's like, it's kind of easy to do things in a process every time, you know, like, oh, this is what I do every morning, or this is what I do, you know. But what happens when, for some reason, you're not able to do your little rituals at the timing that you normally do? You know, what happens to your energy? You know, can you handle it? Because, you know, that's real life. You know, a lot of times people will whack the crap out of you, or some bunch of beings will, you know, decide they need your shoulders back, you know, and you need to respond with, ideally with self-mastery, with, you know, and be a badass, you know. And so that's what we're going to work in this twin set, is when things happen in an unexpected way, you know, that could stress you out, it could throw you off your game. Let's clear and heal proactively so that you're not thrown off your game, or you're like, you know, just a little bit and you get right back. You know, you get your, so I had highlighted non-resistance, confidence, and clear mind as things that, you know, will definitely work today, in addition to all the other good stuff that we were going to work today. Because that is what I think helped me this morning, and helps me, you know, when unexpected large things happen, like that confidence, you know, like, I got this, you know. And today I kept my confidence, but there have been things that happened that were so big that, you know, it's not that I had a lack of confidence, it's just that wasn't my vibe at the time, you know. I wasn't like, yeah, you know, right when it happened. So anyway, we're going to heal mini U's, we're going to clear baggage, all sorts of good stuff, so that you don't have to fear the unexpected, you know, because that's a big part of life, is the unexpected. And a lot of times too, if you're speeding up your growth, you know, and you want positive change, that does also invite, you know, the unexpected, which doesn't have to be bad, you know. But so anyway, that's what we're gonna work. I hope that makes sense. Woohoo! Like things symmetrical. Others me. Mm. All right. Okay, cool. So I'm going to look at chat comments briefly, and then we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet, and then I will start the healing. Okay. Someone gives me a thumbs up. Thank you. I can see and hear you. Thank you. I can see and hear you from sunny Las Vegas, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Hope you're somewhere that's nice and cool. Hi from Chicago. Can see and hear you. Hello to you. Hey, Janet. We can see and hear you in Chicago. 73 and cloudy. 73. That's pretty moderate. Oh, speaking of weather, we did have a lot of rain yesterday in the evening. Like, it's probably around 7 to 10. We had a lot of rain, which we never get rain in the summer. So it was so good for like our trees and stuff. Now I'm not going to have to run up my water bill to water our trees like in a month. Because sometimes like the dryness of the summer just drags on and on and on and on. And we have these massive, you know, over 100-year-old trees in our backyard, and their roots are deep, but I mean, still, you know, like no rain for months and months is too much for them. But now I won't have to do that because of last night's massive rain we had. It was thunderstorms and lightning storms, which we don't usually have. Like I remember in Chicago, summer rain and thunder and lightning is not newsworthy at all. It's like, yeah, okay, of course. But here, it's very unusual. It was funny, like the P&W gardening pages, people were like freaking out, like, what am I going to do? It's going to rain. My tomatoes. And, you know, in other parts of the country, rain in the summer is not a big deal. So anyway, but we had a lot of rain last night. It was really kind of cool. I liked it. And we kept our power, so that was nice too. Because sometimes, you know, with a lot of rain and a lot of wind, because of all the big trees, we end up losing electricity, but we did not. Completely low drama. So very happy about that. Someone says hi. Thank you. Hello to you. Hello, Janet. Hooray. Can see and hear you. Almost okay. Almost okay. Well, if anyone else is having problems too, let me know. But I'm thinking maybe that's just your local connection. I'm glad you're watching. Someone says hello from Ottawa, Canada. Nice day here. 77 degrees. That sounds nice. Someone says, I think I had angel assistance last week. I could not find my billfold for days. I had to go to the DMV. My license had expired 8 months ago. Yipes! I forgot to renew it. Then I found my billfold. Good. Yeah. Yeah, angels definitely can help you find stuff. I mean, sometimes, you know, you're too blocked to hear what they're saying about it, you know, or something. But yeah, when I can't find something, I'm definitely like, okay, angels, I'm really trying to hear you. Where is it? Someone says, good evening from Ireland, about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Sounds nice. Yeah, and a lot of times when angels, you know, if you lost something, you can't find it in your house, you're probably near it, but you just don't see it. They may make you hear something about it, but they may just put your glance somewhere. So be sure to like let your angels, you know, help you where you're looking. You know, don't just look where you think it should be, you know. Look where your angels want you to look, you know, which is just sort of, you know, you just kind of wing it. But yeah, your angels can make you like look right at it. Someone says, what happens if you fall with divine accidents? Do you get another round? You fail. Oh, I see what you're saying. If you fail with divine accidents, do you get another round? Yeah, like for example, if I, you know, lost my marbles this morning when I got the client email saying, gee, are we having a healing today? And I was like, oh, yes, we are. If I had just totally lost my crap and I hadn't emptied my processed stress pots and cleared my STEBs and just, you know, kept my confidence, then I would have needed another test later at some point, and they would have, you know, helped me to forget something else giant, so that I had to, you know, I mean, they would have helped me grow and clear in the meantime, you know, so that see if I pass the next test. But yeah, you can always get more tests from your angels. That's fine. Mrs. definitely need help during stressful times. Yeah. Cleaning up and setting up my mess of a classroom right now. Go. You could do it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're going to work on today. Maybe also Tuesday, we'll see how the surveys go and what people's energy looks like after today's healing. Yes, local limitations. Okay. Well, thanks. Alrighty. Oh, yeah. One more thing. Of course. Always one more thing. So a salesy update. Sales E is not an actual word, but I'll make it one. There are, I think, 3 spots left. Last I checked. For the October twin set. The October triplet set is sold out. The October twin set, there's 3 spots left, and it is a brand new theme I've never dedicated a month of healings to before, is sound boundaries. So that's like telepathic peace of mind, and also like unblocking and healing to the point where you're not, where you have boundaries telepathically, so you don't just hear everything that you could hear on a subconscious level, because like people are very noisy telepathically. Like they scream in frustration, sometimes constantly. They chatter at specific people or just at everybody out loud, constantly. Not everybody, but it's pretty common because, you know, people eat so much, you know, they have like caffeine and not enough sleep and repressed anger and, you know, whatever. And like they don't heal their throat chakras. So they're just kind of sending out cacophony. That's one of my favorite words. Cacophony. Which is sort of like a chaotic mumbo jumbo mix of sounds. But anyway, so sound boundaries would be to, you heal and unblock enough so that you don't have to hear all that all the time as like a subconscious or conscious stressor. And sound attacks too. That's a thing. People can like scream at you specifically, like on a telepathic level, in a way that's so intense that it's meant to kind of, you know, overwhelm you. And that's a thing that some people do. Not a lot of people, but it's possible that, say, one of your, you know, your setback or backlash people or whatever we like to call them is fond of that type of technique. So it's nice to heal and clear proactively so that that's not such a debilitating thing. Sound attacks. So anyway, that's what we'll work on. And, you know, even if you think, well, I don't have anybody like that in my life, and, you know, the whole world is peaceful as far as I'm concerned, then, you know, it does help peace of mind and subconscious like focus and clarity. So it's going to be a good theme. I'm excited. So that's that. And my website is jwhealing.com if you want to check out, not only just to see all the themes and dates through February, but if you want to purchase the one or all of the 3 leftover spots for the October twin set, that's on my website. Okay, so now we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet, and I will shut up momentarily. Towards the end of the 3 minutes of quiet, you'll see me go like that. That's how you know I started the healing. I will heal like that without talking for about a minute or so. And then the rest of the time I talk out loud as I heal. So you could use that as an all levels healing walkthrough and heal yourself as you listen if you wish. If you purchased this healing from me 2 months ago, you do not need to heal yourself as I heal you, but you could if you want. Some people like to do that. All right, so now the actual quiet for 3 minutes as I finish my prep and say hello telepathically to all the 130 people that I'm healing in the 9 countries. Okay, thank you for waiting. So we're gonna work grounding, recreate it, unblock it, but also non-resistance. I'm gonna combine them. So you can recreate both your groundings, astral body and physical body grounding. Make them both wide as all your auras. Would be roughly, like put your hands all the way out. So make both your groundings the same color, red or orange or yellow. You can test each of them if you want, which you prefer at this time. Make them wide in front of you, behind you, and make them stay wide all the way down to the core of the earth, your groundings. And bring up your grounding high as your third chakra, which is at your solar plexus where your ribs come together, below your sternum bone. So bring your groundings up that high. And then you can have a copy out in front of you of both your groundings, astral body and physical body groundings. Use gold light from your hands to melt away the blocks in your groundings. So your hands can generate a lot of energy. There's a big chakra in the palm of each hand called your hand chakra, and then a chakra in each fingertip, which I call your fingertip chakra. And you set those hand chakra and fingertip chakras to be a metallic gold color like this glitter, so that when they naturally spin and generate energy, it will be that color. And you don't have to worry if your clairvoyance is not developed enough to be able to see it yet. It can work with thought or intention as well. You're washing out your grounding, and you can sort of sweep together all the blocks into one place if you want and melt them away. If you have invasive beings kind of making your grounding weird or shadowy or something, you can just say, angels, if there are any beings in my grounding, can you please recycle them? And you might have blocks like right towards the bottom back of your grounding, so you can melt those away. Indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your groundings, going all the way down, and you melt away any attachments between your grounding and other people's groundings. Just use the gold light and melt away anything sticking out of your grounding. And I said we'd work non-resistance as well. So you can have blocks anywhere in your space that are sort of the deepest reason of why you're in resistance or why you go into resistance. Like say, in under pressure, when something unexpected happens, why do you go into so much resistance? Right? So put those, we're going to call them resistance blocks, resistance generating blocks, right? Put those out in front of you. You can make a big old blanket if you want, or just stack them, make piles, and go ahead and melt away these resistance creating blocks, sort of the underlying issues of why you go into so much resistance when unexpected things happen. So again, put out in front of you the reason, the reasons why, the baggage, the underlying stuck energy that causes you to resist, that causes you to kind of clench up and pop out and whatever, numb out when the shit hits the fan, right? What's your resistance baggage that causes you to be in so much resistance to unexpected events? And just put that out in front of you. And a lot of times it is past life baggage. So you don't have to know what it is. Just put it out in front of you. You can say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? chances are yes, you know, because it's life is healthier and gentler when you don't go into so much resistance, you know. So just, you did ask your angels though, that's always nice. And then just melt away all that junk out in front of you. Because, you know, I have clients where it's like, and this is, I guess, a common thing, you know, there'll be one thing that you're worried about or you're scared about, but there's always something, you know, there's always something that happens that's unexpected, something that you didn't foresee, something that, you know, is kind of a big deal, you know, and you want to be able to just be more mellow and in charge of your thoughts and your decision making and your self mastery in those times, right? So what causes you to resist when something big happens? You know, just put all that baggage out in front of you. What causes you to be in resistance when, you know, all of a sudden you realize you have a live stream today that you didn't think you had? You know, or when something big happens, like an illness, you know, of yours, all of a sudden you have a big illness you didn't think you had, or all of a sudden your loved one, you know, something happens to a loved one, or, you know, whatever, there's a giant bill, you know, your job is different, there's a financial issue, whatever, all the baggage that causes you to resist and just sort of not be your best at that time. And just say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? And bring up red earth energy, melt cords going into all this junk. And you may even have spiritual agreements that make it harder for you to clear this kind of thing. So, you know, you can imagine any spiritual agreements that are in the way, any unhealthy spiritual agreements that are in the way of you clearing this resistance baggage, right? And just, you can imagine the agreements like a big stack of papers or however else you want. And just say, angels, is it okay to clear all these right now? And any that are still there, yes, it is okay. So just go ahead and melt all those with gold light. Ultimately. Right? So again, put out any resistance baggage out in front of you, any resistance that causes you to lock up when, you know, when you're running late or you're, you know, something last minute is happening, or, you know, just something unexpected or something larger than, you know, that's like, oh no, you know, one of those things, you know, what triggers at that moment, and just use lots of gold light, melt it away. You could blow it up too. You could say, angels, is it okay to clear all this? And then you can say, angels, can you help me clear this? Use gold light and melt it all away. If you have any left over, just say, angels, can you help me with this? All right, good job. Good job. So double check your grounding. All right, good job. So that was a more significant, I guess, grounding section than usual, because we also did a lot of clearing for non-resistance. Okay, so now we'll do aura repair, and we will include repairing gold mesh spheres of your Wei Qi auras. So you have 17 auras, astral body, physical body, and then 15 auras called Wei Qi auras. So you just imagine all of them out in front of you, all 17, comb through them, check for rips, check for chunks of blocked energy. You can just start melting away the blocks and Repairing the rips with gold light, but we are going to do composite copy technique as well. But it's just good to kind of survey the damage. See what's ripped. See what's especially blocked. Okay. So composite copy technique is you just imagine the image, an image of a rip, and have it represent all the rips in your 17 auras that are good for you to repair right now. And then as you repair that rip, you're repairing all of your rips in your auras. So use sticky gold wax to clean out the rip, right? So that's gold light from your hands that sticks to what's not you, right? So just fill it up with sticky gold wax and lift out everything that's not you as like a big lump. Angels, here you go. So you have your rip, right? But the rip leaks energy so it can attract invasive beings, invasive people, just junk, right? So just clean out the junk first. So sticky gold wax, fill it up, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Now the rip should be clean, relatively clean, so you can use a lot of gold light, get it really deep in there so that the rip starts to repair. And you may have left a couple hard objects in there, so be sure you get those out. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. All right, and so that probably repaired most of the rips, but you may have one or two that are a little stubborn and still ripped. So you can make one composite copy of your leftover rips and repeat that process again. So just make a composite copy rip of any leftover rips you still have. Fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Get the gold light really deep in there. You can say, angels, if there are any beings in the way of this process, can you please recycle them? Again, if there's any hard objects in the way, just lift those out. Angels, here you go. Lift those out. Angels, here you go. The hard objects might be in the way because people throw them to create the rips. Not everybody. Some people just blast energy to create the rips. Obviously, I would never recommend that you do that. It's really bad karma to harm someone else's energy. Okay, good job. So you can just comb through all your auras. Double check that outer surface. Make sure there's no leaks. A little extra repair if there is. Redo your gold buffer zones. I have an 18-minute video. If you search Janet Wright gold buffer zones, you'll find it. What else? Gold spheres. Oh, and do the before that I want to do just the hard leftover residue from having had your aura damage. You can have like scarring, kind of like hard, crusty leftovers. So those could be on the outer surface of your auras or like a couple layers inside somewhere, like a patch, 3 layers of a patch of hardness. So you want to melt away all that stuff because that would weaken your aura, make it rip more easily next time. So we don't want that. So just pile up out in front of you copies of all your aura hardness, any scarring or bruising left over, and just use so much gold light that it melts away. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you please recycle them? And you can melt cords. You can have people cording this aura hardness. So just melt those cords away so that you can melt the blocks more easily. All right, so comb through all your auras. So 15 of those 17 auras are Wei Qi auras. So Wei Qi is a traditional Chinese medicine concept. It, essentially it's like your strong boundaries energy, helping you to stay safe from external invasive forces. And but the fact that you have 15 Wei Qi auras, that's just something that angels taught me. It's not like standard traditional Chinese medicine information. So each of those 15 Wei Qi auras are full of gold light of you as a spirit. And that gold light is generated by the gold mesh spheres within each of your Wei Qi auras. So like if you imagine one of your Wei Qi auras, a big gold force field, right? And the gold is being generated by these mesh spheres that wrap all the way around you. There's an innermost one, a middle one, and an outermost one within each Wei Qi aura, right? So just imagine all of them. So you have like 15 innermost gold mesh spheres, 15 middle gold mesh spheres, and 15 outermost gold mesh spheres. Just check for rips, because the rips would really reduce how much gold light it could generate. So just repair all the rips in your gold mesh spheres. And say your intestines are messed up this morning, or your shoulders messed up this morning or something, especially check around that area, the gold mesh spheres, and repair any damage to the gold mesh spheres. And that can speed up your physical recovery, because then you'll have that part of your gold mesh spheres working. So then the gold light will come inward to heal more your digestive system or your shoulders or whatever. All right, good enough. Okay, so we're going to do creative rings, repairing and unblocking creative rings. That's the CR part on the little title there, CR, creative rings. They come and go with you as a spirit, 1, 2, 3 gold rings up here above your astral body head. And then your 7th chakra is in your head, in the top of your head. And then GV meridian helps to manage all your yang meridians. It's a traditional Chinese medicine meridian called one of the extraordinary meridians. And so we'll heal especially the top part of that as it goes in your head this way. And then the GV20 point of the GV meridian is the topmost point in that meridian, and it just feels nice to heal it. And so we'll heal and repair that as well. Spatially, the GV20 point and the 7th chakra are in the same location, but 7th chakra is bigger and oriented differently. The 7th chakra is oriented this way, ideal color purple. GV20 is oriented this way, and much smaller, and ideal color red. But you don't have to overthink all that. It's just, so you can just imagine all that out in front of you. Your creative rings, your 7th chakra, your GV, the top of your GV meridian, and your GV20 acupuncture point. And just use gold light to repair and unblock. You can noticing the flaps of your creative rings, you want them to be shut. So not like this. This is when they're stuck out, the flaps, right? This is an irritated state. If you have too many cords going into your creative rings, sending energy in that's not yours, that's overwhelming to the rings. And so they pop out like that. So you can just notice that, like, see how much they're out. If they're totally, the flaps are shut, then it's nice, smooth, round surface. Then it's an indication that, you know, there aren't that many cords. I mean, you could still melt cords. Cords can be drawing energy out of your creative rings too, and that wouldn't pop the flaps open as much. So anyway, just keep melting cords going into your creative rings and repair any broken parts if you notice any cracks or chunks missing from your creative rings. You can focus a lot of gold light there to repair them. You may have spiritual agreements that make it hard for you to have boundaries here. Like, for example, I'm looking at somebody and he has an agreement with his mom that's very invasive. I guess she's one of those moms that kind of deep down imagines him still when he was like 5 years old. And she needed him to protect her. She needed her to protect him. He needed her to protect him when he was 5, you know. But now he's, you know, probably 45. So he doesn't, it's very invasive that for her to cord, for the mom to cord him and his creative rings. But he has this protection agreement with his mom that like she can just come in and do whatever because it's for his own good, you know. So you can imagine if you have any unhealthy agreements like that that impact what all this stuff we're healing, your creative rings, your 7th chakra, your GB meridian, your GB20 acupuncture point. So any unhealthy agreements in the way of you being safe and healthy in these areas. And just, you know, you can imagine those agreements like pieces of paper, you know, and just stack them all up and say, angels, is it okay to clear all these right now? And I just go ahead and melt away these unhealthy agreements that are in the way of you being as healthy as possible in these areas. And why can you do this? How can you do this? Because you have free will. And just like you can make agreements, you can also end the agreement. And the agreements could be with past life parents even, because it's not like dying ends all the agreements. So if you have some kind of an agreement with a past life dad or something from 7 lives ago and you don't even know him anymore, he still exists, you still exist, and so the agreement still exists. And so it could be that that agreement is causing you to stay out of that area to a certain extent, and other invasive energies are coming in. So it's not even him really doing it anymore, but the agreement's there. So you're like, you're out of that area because you're like, oh, well, that's not my turf. You know? So anyway, any unhealthy agreements that cause you to not own and keep healthy these areas, just line up those agreements. Say, angels, is it okay, healthy and gentle, to clear all these right now? And then go ahead and melt away the agreements with gold light. You have free will. It is okay to end agreements that are no longer healthy for you. Couple deep breaths. Breathe into your spine, your toes, your fingers, shoulders, your hips. Okay, so we just did it, but I want to put it in the title too, so. So we just did it, but it's kind of important, you know, and beneficial. And we don't always do agreements when we work that area, so I think that's a good addition. Alrighty, good job, good job. Let's do some double confetti to celebrate that one. Yay! Good job, good job, good job. All right. Okay. So I think this one will be a more done the more standard way that we do it. We'll see if I add goodies to it or not. But I'm thinking it'll be more standard. So chakra repair and unblocking in general, and for the theme of being a spiritual badass. You imagine, we'll just do composite copy technique. So you imagine a chakra shape, a basic chakra shape, a little bit like that. And you have it represent all your major and minor chakras of your body and your spirit, basically all your chakras. And then as you repair this copy representing all your chakras, you are repairing and unblocking and melting cores from all your chakras. So the damage could be cracks or missing pieces or scratches. So just use lots of gold light and repair and melt cords. You can have pairs of cords going into the round openings. You can have the flaps, just like those creative ring flaps that I showed you. That's the same thing for here. So you can have flaps sticking out around the round opening. So you just melt enough cords so that they relax and fall shut. So it's a nice smooth round opening. I had talked about chakra mud rings. I don't know if I introduced that in the last set or the set before that, but chakra mud rings, CMRs. So those are just like, it's like an extra ridge around this opening that doesn't belong there. And so once you melt it away, then it's easier. It like less crud builds up right there at that surface, because you want this surface to be just you and have it be like ripply water. But it can get all hard and crusty and blocks can build up there. So the chakra mud ring, it's just my term for it. It can be that somebody placed them there, or it can just be that it formed there because somebody kept sending so much of their energy that it just had to go somewhere. So part of what it did is it formed a like an elevated ring right there. But anyway, just melt them away. It doesn't matter how they got there, whose energy it is, just melt it away. And your intention, of course, is to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. Mm. And sometimes you have to melt the cords away from out of the chakra mud rings so that they melt properly. So again, use so much gold light that the chakra repairs. You can have hard objects thrown into your chakras, so like sort of like razor blades or spears or something. So just imagine any hard objects and surround them in gold light and lift them out. You can hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Imagine the hard objects stuck in your chakras. Lift them all out. Angels, here you go. And you can repair any leftover gashes caused by those hard objects. Repair with gold light. And lift out any baggage in the way of you becoming more and more and more of a spiritual badass. And lift that out, and you can blow it up, or you can melt it with gold light, or you can hand it to your angels. So lift out the baggage in the way of your spiritual badassery. Let's give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the baggage in the way of you becoming more of a spiritual badass. Melt it away. So just in general, unblock your chakras. And we were talking about today too, we're doing under pressure. How are you under pressure? So it could be that your chakras are a little bit too compressed in general. So then under pressure, they get even more compressed, even more blocked. So just there's any sort of, sometimes there can be hard devices sort of gripping the chakras, making them more tight than they need to be. So just lift out any compressing devices. Angels, here you go. Lift them out of your chakras. Angels, here you go. Let the chakras be as relaxed and highly functioning as possible. Lift out any restrictive devices on your chakras. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. All right. Good enough. Good job. Good job. Good job. Woohoo. We could do some celebratory butterflies for that one. Yay. Good job. All right. Oh, yeah. I forgot to ask people if you could, if you want, please give this live stream a thumbs up. That does help YouTube to show it to other people. Even if it's later as a video, that also helps. And that's me giving you a thumbs up too. You are awesome, and good for you for devoting even a few minutes to your own healing. That's super cool. Super, super cool. Okay, so now we'll do stuff basically in and around the neck, behind the base of the skull, behind the neck, in the auras. And it helps you be more present. It definitely helps you manage stress better, be more focused. It can help reduce neck, shoulder, and head tension, physical tension, but it just also just kind of clicks you in, makes you more here, more present, more able to handle and get things done. Oh, right. So good karma windows are behind your head, behind your astral body head. In your astral body aura, there are one in each astral body aura layer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each good karma window is a triple frame window. So you can just start repairing them with gold light, grounding them, unblocking them. You can have chunks of hard energy around them. So for those of you that need to know, that don't know, a triple frame window looks like this. That's what I mean. So, and each one would be a different color based on what color your energy is in that aura layer. So if you do a rainbow system, then it would be red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. And check for, of course, damage to the window itself and repair that with gold light, but also big chunks of energy blocks around the windows. So it's kind of like weeds in a garden, you know, you want to get the weed, but you want to get the root of the weed too. You don't just, like my husband wants to weed whack all the weeds in the world, but he's just like spreading seeds and not killing the weed in many cases because the root of the weed is a big deal. You want to get the root of the weed, right? So the same thing here with invasive energies. You can have invasive energies kind of woven through these this area if you have blocks here, and then it can but the root of it is sort of ripped into your upper chakras or your base of skull points. So you want to be aware of the sort of like the stem and the leaves of the weed, but also the roots of the weed, and you want to get all of it, right? So so just use gold light and kind of freeze it all up and lift it out. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And it could be invasive beings, but it could also be invasive people, and for silly reasons sometimes. Sometimes it's someone really does have sort of a destructive, malevolent intention, but other times people just have a ton of anxiety subconsciously or a ton of repressed anger subconsciously, and they have no idea they're doing anything harmful to someone else. But anyway, so just weave it out of your space. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Again, you want to repair and unblock, so it's much harder for energy like that to come in the first place. And so that's good karma windows. And then flow zone is that same area behind your base of skull and neck all the way back, but it's in your physical body aura. And then your flow zone also includes in and around your neck. So your flow zone doesn't have good karma windows. It just has, the aura layers of your physical body aura. So you don't want any hardness, just melt away anything that's not you in your flow zone, including in and around your neck. And you could have some agreements that make it hard for you to clear any of these areas, good karma windows, flow zone, base of skull points. So if you have any unhealthy agreements like that, you can imagine them like a stack of papers representing all the unhealthy agreements. The angels, is it okay to clear all these? And then any that are left over, that's a yes. It's okay to clear them. So just melt them away with gold light. And if any are left over, just say, angels, can you help me with these? So we're unblocking your flow zone, which includes in and around your neck and the top of your spine. No, that's not it. There we go. So the upper part of your spine, just unblock those bones. You want energy to flow freely up and down your spine, your energy and your body's energy to flow freely up and down your spine. Okay, so base of skull points are, you look the height of the top of the ear and the height of the bottom of the ear in this diagram. There's like a horizontal line of points, and those are what I call your base of skull points. So the center line there, that's your GV meridian, governing vessel meridian. It helps you to manage your yang meridians of your body. And there are 3 points there that you see on that gray middle center line there. Each of those are chakras. Just let them expand and unblock and repair. So I'm just going on the different points and the different meridians that are shown, just those base of skull points. And again, use so much gold light that the chakra expands properly and repairs and unblocks. Any hard objects pop out and dissolve. And then your aura is behind your base of skull points. So, you know, that's technically in your flow zone area right there, just back there. You can get plates of hard energy right behind the base of skull points. So just comb through that area, check for those and melt them. The plates of hard energy. All right, good job. Do some double confetti for that one. Woohoo! You're amazing. So that was good karma windows, flow zone, and base of skull points. Help you be more of a spiritual badass. Okay, so I talked about this in the intro. It's something that we did in the at least the last healing of the triplet set of this month. But we're gonna take it one step further, at least one step further, in a cool way, where we're gonna unblock the the hip joints too. So like, where is your hip joint? Your hip joint, if this is your pelvis, then your hip joint is where your big, thigh bone, your big femur, like connects into right there. So the ball socket of it kind of connects right there. That's your hip joint. So your hip joints and also your shoulder joints are big connection locations where invasive energy, if it's coming in from the top in like a tree trunk pattern, if you have some energy blocks up here, that is sort of, where the trunk of the tree is, sort of in this image of invasive energy coming in. So then, and the root flare could be to your shoulders, but the root flare could also be to your hips. So it's sort of like maybe a double tree trunk pattern. So anyway, you can have energy blocks up here, and then that causes the energy to come in more easily in through your upper chakras, and then, anchoring into your shoulder joints, or then anchoring into your hip joints, or both. So it's not that hard to undo though, just imagine a copy, like this of above here and your hip, shoulder joints and hip joints. And you just want to unblock things enough so that it's much harder for invasive energy to come through, and so it's much easier for you to come through. So we're unblocking your physical body energy system, your physical body shoulder joints, your physical body hip joints, and above your physical body aura, above your head in your physical body aura. And we'll just call them tree trunk blocks. And you could have invasive beings that are kind of moving out because of this now. They don't have a good grip anymore. You want to recycle them on the way out, because they might just wait until you're having a bad day and like push their way back in. And so there's no point. So just imagine any invasive beings that are hooked into these areas that we're working, the tree trunk areas, and just the angels, can you recycle all these beings? So any invasive beings that are or were or would like to hook into these tree trunk areas, the angels, can you recycle these beings? Oh, and I do have an image of a shoulder joint. I didn't show it. A model of a shoulder joint. So this would be like the front. This is your clavicle bone right there. That's your scapula, which is called your shoulder blade back here. And that's your arm bone right there. And so I'm gonna take it off its little stand. So that, moves moves more than that in real life, hopefully. Unless you have a shoulder problem. So anyway, you just want to unblock this whole area, all the places where they connect. Make sure, because you want your body's energy to flow really well here, and you as a spirit, so you can really be very present there. So there's no way for invasive energies to anchor in that area. Those shoulders, unblock your shoulder joints. And unblock your hip joints. And above your head in your physical body aura. So if there are any invasive beings kind of trying to tree trunk in there, say, angels, can you recycle these beings? Couple deep breaths into your hips, into your shoulders, into your neck. If you need to do any little gentle massage, go for it. Again, unblock your hip joints and your shoulder joints. You can be there. Unblock along your spine, up and down your spine. Again, above your head. If you have any blocks, we'll call them tree trunk blocks that sort of facilitate this whole tree trunk pattern of invasive energy. Just imagine those blocks above your head and melt them away with gold light. La 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 la. Hmm. So, continuing to work shoulders and neck, we'll unblock in that V area and then the X area. The X area is on the level of the shoulders and it goes, there's, half of the X goes out here and then half of the X goes back there. The V pattern is upward at an angle from your shoulders. So just do both of those. Just imagine any blocks in those areas and melt them away with gold light. And again, this would be in your physical body aura that you're unblocking. Again, we're unblocking the auras around the shoulders. And we can unblock inside the physical body, neck and shoulders as well. All right, good job. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm gonna look just a little bit more to fine tune what we're doing next. So I'll be quiet for about a minute as I do that. Okay. So we're going to update your disaster plan. And I put disaster in quotes because a disaster for one person is not the same as a disaster for another person. You know, a disaster for one person could be like, oh, I didn't get to wash my dishes before I left the house this morning. You know? Disaster for another person is, you know, like a car accident or something, you know. So a common disaster could be, and you know, disasters in quotes, it's just, you know, some kind of a unexpected thing that's more challenging, right? Um an example of an unhealthy disaster plan that I was looking at some clients. One person's unhealthy disaster plan is to, you know, call a bunch of friends and freak out at them. You know, like, oh my God, I know what to do, you know, or call their partner and freak out at them, or, you know, various friends on a telepathic or psychic level, you know, and just be like, what should I do? You know, to just sort of become an extrovert and freak out. Um, Another person's unhealthy disaster plan is to run away. You know, if something negative and unexpected happens, like an energy attack, is just to run away. And running away on a spirit level generally means, you know, leaving your body and just, you know, like hiding in some fun past life or something for a while. And, you know, that's unhealthy because then you're not present, so you're not there to protect your body more, and so the damage would be greater, and your functionality could really shut down if a big part of your powerful self just, you know, checked out. I was like, later, see you later when negative things are not happening. I'll come back. You know, so what is your disaster plan? Is your disaster plan to stay present and use your abilities and your confidence and to get through it and make the best of it and learn? Or is your disaster plan to run away? Or is your disaster plan to freak out and, you know, be codependent and kind of, you know, run your anxiety through people that you care about? Or some other unhealthy thing, you know? So we're going to update your disaster plan. And obviously these are subconscious plans, you know, or patterns. Mostly. They might be conscious, you know. But ideally your plan has to do with your personal strength, your individual strength, you know, your individual confidence, your individual communication with your angels, your intuition. So that it doesn't rely on other people, because other people have their lives and their opinions and their free will. And, you know, and being codependent with them when you're, you know, something bad happens to you is, you know, not getting you anywhere anyway, you know, but too, like you can't really you can't count on that someone's going to be, you know, have this perfectly receptive, supportive vibe when you need them. You know, ideally you want to be super strong yourself, right? And then the friendship and the support is sort of icing on the cake. It's sort of a nice extra. But you want to have as much strength as you can, as much, connection to your higher self, your own divine, your own eternal wisdom from past lives, your own angel support, because your angels are always there for you. Okay, so that's explaining. We're going to just update your disaster plan and just clear out some stuff that's unhealthy in your subconscious disaster plan. And yeah, I think disaster is an okay word. It just, I don't mean to dramatize. It's just, when unexpected bigger things happen. But disaster is easier to type than unexpected big things. All right, so now we'll do, and it's easier to do than explain as usual. Okay, so just put out in front of you your subconscious disaster plan. Whatever it is, like maybe it's I'm going to go and hide, maybe it's I'm going to go and freak out on 5 people that I care about or the one person I care about, or I'm going to, just go numb for 3 days, or, I'm going to avoid and overeat. But what's your disaster plan, right? Unhealthy, maybe some of it's healthy, but some of it's not, some of it's from a past life that's still around, you haven't cleared away. So just imagine all the versions of your disaster plan that are still anywhere in your space. So some of it could be avoidance, some of it could be resistance, some of it could be, healthy, some of it could be codependent, whatever, right? And just run gold light through it all. Just say, angels, can you help me to update this stuff so that I can live as healthy as possible and I can, get stronger and enjoy my life more. So again, we're just all the versions of your disaster plan, subconscious versions, conscious versions, anything that's still around, even if it's really old from like 10 lives ago, but you didn't get rid of it, right? So just run gold light through all of it. And bring up red earth energy, soak all of it with red earth energy. Melt away cords from other people. You could have agreements that are kind of preventing you from updating this stuff. So just any agreements that are in the way of you making these healthy updates. So angels, is it okay to update these agreements? And then just run gold light through them. All right. Okay, good job. Okay, so I was looking at one of my clients who their disaster baggage used to be to be codependent with people they know and just kind of run their anxiety through those people. Maybe calling them, or maybe just subconsciously just kind of trying to lean on people they know, which is a very common pattern, right? But then, so they clear their disaster baggage to the extent that is good to do right now. And so they don't have such a strong disaster plan to, run anxiety through everyone they know. But now if disaster strikes, they just kind of stand there and scream like telepathically. They're just kind of stuck in this subconscious repressed anger. So I would call that disaster baggage. And it's from a couple past lives where they feel like people that should have helped them should have, made sure something bad wasn't going to happen, didn't do it. And so they got stuck in being really angry at those people in those lives. And so now when something unexpected and, potentially challenging happens, it triggers all that, rage, the old rage at those people, like, it's all their fault. And that it really robs them of the opportunity to have their energy healthy and well to face the new challenge, So, I would call that disaster baggage. It's just stuff, what triggers when big unexpected things happen um, for you. And if you clear that stuff, it really helps free up your energy so that you're more functional when bigger unexpected things happen. Okay, so that's explaining, and let's do it. So we could just do blanket exercise, or you can make big gold dumpsters or whatever amuses you, gold boxes or big piles. But I'm going to do a blanket. So big gold blanket out in front of you, and pile onto it any baggage of yours that triggers when disasters happen. Disasters, I'm using that as a broad term. So anything big and unexpected happens, or anything sort of high pressure happens, like a deadline or you're late or whatever, right? So what is the baggage that triggers? Is it repressed anger, fear, panic, paranoia? What is it? Right? All of the above. I say, angels, is it okay to clear all this baggage? And then you can just use lots of gold light. And you can melt away cords going to other people. Because it could be that you have anger towards somebody and they are courting your stuck anger. And so that kind of holds it in place. So just melt the cords, melt the baggage. You could blow it up too. So again, this is disaster baggage, any baggage that triggers. What triggers when something unexpected happens, an unexpected problem, an unexpected situation, or just some high pressure situation, like you're late or there's a big bill or whatever, right? So big old blanket, put all your disaster baggage onto the blanket. Say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? And then just lots of gold light. Melt it away. And again, part of it can be betrayal baggage, feeling betrayed, feeling let down, feeling, angry at somebody. Just melt it all away because, there's no need to complicate your life further, right? Don't keep that stuff. Okay, just let it go. Melt it all away. So what triggers when disasters happen, when big unexpected things happen? So just pile all that disaster baggage out in front of you, and you can blow it up or melt it with gold light. All right. Good job, good job, good job. Woohoo. Okay, so I'm going to look again just so I can fine tune what we're going to do next. Okay. So I was looking at one of my clients, and her unhealthy disaster plan used to be to run away from her body if she was getting an energy attack. And now it's not so much that, because she cleared a lot of that, the old unhealthy disaster plan out of the way. So now she would stay present in an energy attack, but there's enough of her that is kind of stuck in like being overwhelmed and like stuck from other times that she's had energy attacks. So I'm calling that disaster stuck, little mini versions of her. And so we're going to heal the parts of you that are disaster stuck, like that just really aren't updating and they're not disaster ready, like not that you need to be on alert, but to be a spiritual badass, to be as well as you can be, you want to flow, you want to like adjust, so if it's a mellow day or it's a day and then all of a sudden unexpected things happen, you want to be able to ease yourself into, handling it, right? But if you have parts of you that are like too rigid, too stuck in, what something should be, or the way you should be, or, oh my God, this is terrible. This is always, whatever, right? So you're going to look at the parts of you that are most disaster stuck, like either now, pretty much now, like inner parts of you that are stuck in old disasters that you've had, like they're just stuck in whatever mode, avoidant or freezing or sad or angry or whatever, right? And we're going to just heal those parts of you so that, because we want you to be able to, switch gears fluidly based on what's happening to you and what you're choosing to do today, and all that good stuff, right? So I want you to be able to flow. We don't want you to be disaster stuck, right? So let's do that. Heal these little mini yous, which is always easy to do and nice to do. Okay. So you just imagine little mini versions of you out in front of you, and they can be far away if you don't want to feel these parts of you as you're healing them. I kind of like to feel a little bit, and that's not overwhelming for me, so I put them closer to me, but you can put them, 10, 20 feet away if you want. But they're little mini versions of you that are disaster stuck. Okay, so they're stuck in, they're little parts of you that are stuck in whatever, freezing up or raging, fuming, being sad, going numb, whatever, right? And just imagine those little yous and be like, hey, it's okay. You deserve a healing. It's all right. Nothing's going wrong right now. It's okay. I just thought, why not take a minute and heal? Everything's okay. Because these parts of you might be like, what? Did something just happen? What's going on? And so you gotta just say, no, it's okay. Nothing's wrong right now. Everything's fine. And just heal these parts of you. To be like, hey, you just deserve a healing. That's it. You can say, angels, can you heal these parts of me? And once you heal those parts of you, then that energy will kind of dissolve and you'll get it back as just regular flowy life force. It won't be stuck in a disaster experience. And then you can put out more little mini yous that are disaster stuck out in front of you. You can say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? But you do it too, lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, and then orange earth energy, and then yellow earth energy, and just lots of gold light. Just heal these mini versions of you that are disaster stuck. And just, you can say comforting things if you want, like, hey, it's all right. It's okay. All right, you're safe now. It's all right. Everything's fine. You can remind yourself too, you're an eternal soul. You've been through so much in so many lifetimes, and you've come through it all. You've learned, you've gotten stronger. So you are greater than whatever unexpected events happen in your life. Okay, if you have any leftover disaster stuck parts of you that need healing right now, you can put those out in front of you. Any more that you should be healing right now that are healthy and gentle, and just lots of gold light. You say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? And just let that energy, when it's all healed up, then it won't be a separate part of you. You'll just get the energy back. And if some of these parts aren't healing, just say, angels, can you heal these parts of me? Mm. So we'll just do energy healing flowers, especially to nourish yourself, so that you are more ready for things that may be unexpected or for challenges in your life. The more nourished you are, the stronger you are. It can help things seem not as hard. So let's make a lot of energy healing flowers. You can make them out of universal healing energy, make them rainbow colors or gold light or both, whatever vibrations that you need right now to help all parts of you be ready and well and flowing. If something unexpected happens or a challenge happens, which is a lot of the time, and just make a lot of energy healing flowers for yourself and just say, angels, can you check these flowers? And give them to yourself. Yeah, and make more energy healing flowers just to comfort yourself. Remind yourself that you're an eternal, strong spirit. You've learned so much in so many lives. Just make all those healing flowers for yourself to reassure you, to strengthen those parts of you. Say, angels, can you check my flowers? Give them to yourself. We'll do it one more time. Energy healing flowers to help nourish you and strengthen you so that you're less, off your game. You can just maintain your confidence or your flow, even if unexpected things happen. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. All right. Good job. Good job. We'll do some celebratory butterflies for that one. Great job. I'm going to look for a second, see what we're doing next. Okay. So this is going to be really cool. I love it already. And it's one of the last things I think that we're doing in this healing. It'll be a dual process, all to help your confidence, decisiveness, and clarity. And yes, in moments of pressure, in moments where there's some unexpected big thing, also just every day. So confidence, decisiveness, and clarity. And we'll look at it as a garden, your abilities of confidence, decisiveness, and clarity. We'll imagine it as a garden and heal it. But then we'll also call back your energy of confidence, decisiveness, and clarity, because it could be that people actually took away some of that. Maybe because they didn't like your decisions and they wanted to make you doubt your own decisions. So screw that, right? So call it all back and continue to heal it, these abilities as a garden. Okay, so first let's call back. We'll kind of go back and forth, right? So you can make any gold 3-dimensional object and use it like a magnet to call back your energy. So a gold sphere, gold cube, gold pyramid, whatever you like, right? And just use it as a magnet to call back your own confidence, your own decisiveness, your ability to make decisions and just bum, bum, bum. That's it. Fast decision making and clarity, right? So just call back all your energy of decisiveness, clarity, and confidence. And you can make your magnet get bigger the more you call back if you want. And then say, angels, can you clean all this off for me? And then give it to yourself. Okay, so we'll do that again. 3D object, gold, use it as a magnet. Call back your life force, your unique life force of confidence, decisiveness, and clarity. Maybe several people took it, one person took it from past lives, whatever, doesn't matter. Just call it all back. And then say, angels, can you clean this off for me? And give it to yourself. Okay, and then imagine those abilities represented by a garden, so you can just check it out and clear more and heal more and repair more, right? So have a garden that represents your confidence, your decisiveness, your clarity, and just check out the garden, see if you like it, and don't be freaked out if you don't like it. Just get to work. Just use gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy, and just feel. Maybe there are structures that don't belong there. Like maybe there's a big doomy, gloomy border all around your garden, kind of like this intimidating energy. So just melt that away. Again, this is a garden that represents your ability to have confidence, decisiveness, and clarity, not only just on a plain old day, but also in the face of an unexpected challenge or some, more stressful situation, potentially stressful situation. So just melt away any junk in your garden that doesn't belong there. You can lift out objects that don't belong there. Angels, here you go. Lift out objects that don't belong in your garden. Angels, here you go. You can have people in there that are jealous. Jealous is a weird thing, it's like, it's hard to imagine, like, it may be hard to imagine people being jealous of you because you're like, what am I doing, But, envy, jealousy, resentment, all that stuff, it's just, it means that their heart chakra is kind of messed up. So it's not exactly about you. It's about them and how they view themselves and how they compare themselves to others in an unhealthy way. So you don't have to get tangled up in like why or how, just lift out any envy or jealousy or resentment out of your garden and you could blow it up. Lift out any jealousy, envy, or resentment. You can melt it with gold light. Lift out any resentment, jealousy, envy. Melt it away. Lift it out. Melt it away. There could be invasive beings just making drama in this garden. So you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings affecting this garden at all or in this garden at all, can you please recycle them? And keep breathing while your angels do that. And check out this garden. Check out the sky above this garden. Is it too cloudy? Melt away the clouds. Does it seem like doomy gloomy and not sunshiny? You can just melt away anything that's blocking the sunshine. If there are any agreements that are unhealthy and making it hard for you to have confidence, decisiveness, and clarity, you can just imagine those agreements and melt them with gold light. You say, angels, help me update these agreements or clear them. And you can have somebody in there that it's like, it's kind of not as obvious. You know, like you can have a friend in there that's just like sitting there in a chair in your garden. And they're not really wrecking the garden, but they're changing the vibration and they're just making it a lot less fabulous for you. And so you can just explain, you know, if you have any sort of benevolent, invasive people, you know, just say, hey, you know, thanks so much for the support. I need this space for myself. I really appreciate all your love and kindness. You know, so thank them as you wash them out, you know. But just be like, hey, my garden is just for me. You know, you go have your angels heal your garden. Go check out your garden. You deserve the best garden you can get. Okay, so I think this is one of the last things we're doing. One of the people that I'm healing, she still has some parts of her that are like stuck in escape mode, and they're like far, far off, and so they're not really receiving. I mean, the other parts of her are receiving the healing, but there are parts of her that are just ran off so far away that they're not like catching the memo that it's okay, let's work this, it's safe, let's do this, you know? So we can specifically heal those parts of you that are that far off that they're just not receiving any of this healing because they need the healing just as much or probably more, right? So it's kind of like a heal mini use, but it's like far, far off mini use. Okay. So just imagine parts of you that are like maybe hiding in past lives of yours or, you know, just like far, far, just ran far, far away. And just heal those parts of you. Be like, hey, it's okay, no pressure. You know, I'm not forcing you to do anything. Just thought you might deserve a healing. It's okay. You can use red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy, lots of gold light. If there are any invasive beings around these parts of you, you say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings bothering these parts of me? And, you know, maybe you have like 8 parts of you that are far, far off, and then now you have 4 parts of you that are far, far off. And so just keep healing them. Yeah, and you know, maybe now you have 2 parts of you that are far, far away. And just keep healing them. Take your time. Just say comforting things to those parts of you like, hey, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not forcing you to come back. It's all right. Generally what happens is when those parts of you are fully healed enough, then you come back, you know. So, and then if there are still any far, far off parts of you, you could say, angels, can you please heal these parts of me? Hmm. All right. Great job. You're amazing. Woohoo. Okay, so now we're going to do wrap up. Okay. So just imagine all of you out in front of you, all your 17 auras, both your groundings, astral and physical. Wash through them with lots of gold light. Your physical body and your astral body are inside your auras. Wash through them with gold light. You can put out any STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks that are still haven't cleared, even though we've done a trillion different clearing techniques. So just stack out any energy blocks that are still bothering you on any level, and just melt the cords going into them with gold light. And you can bring up red earth energy, soak them with red earth energy. And just let your resistance melt out of them. Let other people's energy melt out of them so they can finally explode. Clear. All right. And unprocessed stress pots. That is something that was very useful to me this morning. So it's just a visual, it's an easier representation of your ability to handle and process some unexpected event or some stressful challenge, right? And so you want to keep your pots empty so that you're ready for what comes, right? And so if your pots are full, it just means you haven't fully processed something that already happened to you, something that already occurred. And so then you're kind of full, so you're not really ready for whatever comes, right? So just imagine all your unprocessed stress pots and make sure they're empty. And if they're not, it's not a huge problem, but just run gold light through them. Melt cords going into your unprocessed stress pots, because that could be part of why they're not emptying, is just other people according you. Melt the cords and then use gold light and melt away whatever's in the pots. And make sure you're looking for some unprocessed stress pots that you usually are in denial about, you usually avoid, and make sure you empty those, because you'll feel a lot better. Get those pots you usually ignore and make sure those are empty. Melt the cords going into them from other people. And empty those pots using gold light, melting what's in them. You can catch up. And so your 7th chakra to your 8th chakra connection, your 7th chakra is in the top of your head, oriented this way. Purple is a nice color, an ideal color for your 7th chakra. So the top of it is right here, and then so it's like in there, right? And so then your 8th chakra, it looks like a big gold sun above you. It's above the top of your aura. So say if this is the top of her aura, then it could be like a foot above there or even 10 feet above there. Your 8th chakra gets closer or further away depending on how much your higher self cares about what you're doing at the moment. If you're watching something really stupid on YouTube that's not really beneficial or even funny, you're just kind of train wrecking, then maybe your 8th chakra is further up. If you're doing something that's like more intriguing to you as a spirit, then your 8th chakra is closer. But anyway, so you just imagine the connection between your 7th and your 8th chakra, like a big gold, good cord, like a cord that's just you, 7th to 8th, and have it be gold and flowy and unblocked. So just check, look for blocks, look for any rigidity in that cord and just melt that away. So it's just nice and gold and flowy, and only for you. Melt away cords from other people going into that. because I said a couple of times in this live stream, I've said like, you've been through so much in different lives. So a lot of stuff you've seen it before, you know, so even if it's unexpected for today, you know, it's certainly not unexpected. It's not something you haven't already been through. So just if you can unblock enough, then you can get some of that higher self wisdom that you've gained from past lives to help you just sort of have a more calm, big picture approach to things. All right. So recreate your gold buffer zones, recreate both your groundings, comb through your groundings. Find the blocks in your grounding and melt them away with gold light. All right. And you can just, as we wrap up, just ask your angels, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you help me be a spiritual badass? And angels, can you help me be a spiritual badass, even if things are unexpected or challenging? You can keep your flow. All right, good job. That's a healing. You're amazing. Woo! Yay! Double confetti. Double confetti. All right, great job. Woo! Okay. So the healing is done. I'm going to look quickly over some chat comments. If you have any comments about this theme or today's focus of, you know, being a badass under pressure, you could comment. If you want to say how you're doing after the healing, how are you feeling? That's fine too. And of course, if you did pay for the healing and I healed you, then I will be sending you a post-healing survey tonight. So you could fill it out tomorrow, please, sometime on Monday, if you have a minute. And that way I can study the results and it will help me plan the Tuesday healing, which is the second in the set. 2 healings. And just a heads up, we do have like some kind of a thunderstorm or rainstorm headed our way. The skies look very ominous outside and it looks windy. So if I lose power or something during this final little chat time, I'm not going to restart the live stream. It's just good enough. So, but maybe we'll have power through the whole, you know, little chat comment period that I'm doing right now. We'll see. We'll see. Either way, it's fine. I'm looking for the comments that I haven't gotten to yet. Someone says, I think my issues with my upstairs neighbor is definitely some sort of angel lesson. We've lost our home insurance policy because of her. Yeah, I would say there's probably a lot of learning. You know, and for you, and then, you know, what learning did your parents want to manifest through this experience, and what learning did you want to manifest through this experience, which could be different. And yeah, so I would try not to be the whole like, okay, we lost our home insurance because of her, you know, just think of it as like events that occurred and, you know, kind of step back a little bit from, you know, oh, because of her, my life is ruined, or because of her, this calamity happened. You know, this happened, you know, you reacted a certain way, she reacted a certain way, everyone reacted a certain way. It's just a series of events and actions. So that way you kind of continue to clear the any resentment that you might have towards her, because you don't want to bring that resentment future, you know, into your future, into, you know, interactions with other women or with, you know, people in a future lifetime. You don't want to have to meet her again in another lifetime, you know, which you might if you have a lot of resentment still towards her specifically. So it's really good to clear that. So that way, you know, you can just be done with your interactions with her, you know. So yeah, I would just say keep clearing the resentment. But yeah, I think there's it's always good to think of, okay, well, what's the learning in this, you know? And when things are more unexpected and bigger, you know, oftentimes it is, you know, like maybe your higher self was trying to get you to course correct, and it just, other things just weren't doing the trick. And so this was like, you know, whenever like your higher self, your angels, you are basically trying to learn, you know, if something's not clearing a certain way, then you and your higher self and your angels will try something else to help you clear and help you transform. So yeah, I think that's true, that there must be bigger learning lessons, bigger ways that you can change and evolve because of this situation. And that's, yeah, I think you're accurate with that. Okay, someone says, is it my astral body that's performing these healing techniques on the astral plane? Yeah, you get kind of turned around about this stuff. Okay, so I guess what you're saying is, if you're following along with me and you're doing this healing, like you're, you know, clearing your disaster baggage, I mean, I would hope that you're here. You're not on the astral, you're here. So you're just in your body doing the clearing. So no, you're not on the astral plane. I mean, there's a part of you on the astral plane. Your astral body is always there, but presumably you're in your body as you're doing these exercises. And so you're just here, you're present. And you is your astral body. Yeah. So your astral body is here in your body, giving yourself a healing. But I mean, why do you have to divide it into like 180 different puzzle pieces? You know, like just give yourself a healing. You know, like why? I'm not seeing it's almost like you're caught in this spider web of confusion that is completely, it seems to be some like out of body sort of thought puzzle you're caught in. Like, just show up and do stuff, you know? Like, sometimes analyzing it will bring you out of your body. Sometimes, you know, knowing the details is nice and cool and fun. But I think the way you've been doing that lately, because you mentioned stuff in survey or whatever recently about like this type of inquiry, and it always seems like you're, you know, you're kind of like trying to, you know, psychoanalyze your brain in 100 different directions or something. It doesn't seem like it's helping you to move forward, that line of inquiry. So hope that helps. Just show up and do stuff. All right, someone says, I already feel the difference. Clearing agreements from creative ring part immediately made me more present in my head. That's nice. And after chakra work, I feel motivated to clear my avoidance finally. Well, cool. I'm glad. Yay. Someone says, hi, sisters. Hello. Hello to you. Leave a comment to show your support. Yes, so you're just encouraging people to leave comments, which is fine. Thank you. Clear it out with gold light, yes. Give yourself permission, yes. All right. Someone says, yeah, I would encourage you not to comment towards other people in the live stream. I know that's odd and unusual. Like a lot of live streams, people are all talking to each other. But in these live streams, it's more like you and your angels, you know, and I'll comment to people, but like a lot of times people can be off put if someone they don't know comments to them about something just in this context, because it's like this spiritual sort of inward thing we're doing. So ideally, you know, if you could not specifically address other people in the chat, if that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. But anyway, yes. Seems like you are definitely understanding what we're working with for the most part. Okay, so someone is speaking in French, which I don't understand all of it, but thank you for the comment. Someone is saying, hi, Janet. Thank you for the healing. Thank you. Someone says, thank you, Janet. That was epic. I think I might have returned to the front of my first layer. Feels interesting. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Feeling mellow and sleepy. I had a migraine headache for a few days and it finally went away. Very nice. Yeah, I think if you keep working the tree trunk stuff that we did, it'll be its own chapter. But I think the tree trunk stuff is part of what helped. So you could keep doing that. Alrighty, let's see. Again, we're having thunderstorms, so if the power goes out, don't worry. I am safe and healthy and happy. I just won't, have another live stream to finish the last 2 questions. All right. But I'm glad you feel good. I'm glad your headache went away. You look pretty good. Just maybe do some extra combing through of your aura behind your left shoulder and your left head. Just lighten it up a little. Especially like first and second layers, right around that area. But I think that tree trunk stuff will be really nice if you just keep working that. Someone says, oh, that person says, I'd been clearing beings and tons of repair, but nothing was helping. Yeah. Yeah, I think the tree trunk stuff will help if you keep doing that. Someone says, can a body injury related be an angel assistance accident? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Because angels can block a physical injury and prevent it from occurring. So if they didn't prevent it from occurring, generally it's for your learning, or yeah. So, because angels can do like wacky things where you don't get injured when you totally should have. And so, not like that's their job, but they have that ability. So if they didn't do that, it's not that they made a mistake. It's that for some reason this is meant to happen, and it's typically because you're supposed to learn something, and this experience could hopefully force you to learn that. So yeah, physical injuries can be angel assisted accidents. That is correct. Not that they made it happen, but they didn't block it from happening. But I guess sometimes they could make it happen, but that's less likely. Usually it was going to happen anyway, and they just didn't prevent it. Because they figured it would help you learn. Someone says, thanks, Janet. Feeling less anxious overall for the past few days. Good. A little triggered thinking about potential disasters. Am I in 7 through 2? Am I on my spiritual path? Right now you are in 7 through 2. This morning, your time this morning, you were in 7, 6, and 5 only. But then you got into 7 through 3 before the healing. So at first you were in 7 through 5, and then you were in 7 through 3. It looks like your grounding was really narrow first thing in the morning, and your auras under like these your auras down here was really jammed up, so it wasn't releasing well. But then you unblocked there, and your grounding widened up again, so that's how you got into 7 through 3. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And then the healing, I think in general, your chakras were like kind of tight, so the chakra work that we did and the non-resistance work that we did in the grounding section, it'll be in the grounding chapter. It'll say grounding and non-resistance right at the start. That I think was probably the biggest thing that helped you kind of knock out of you know, kind of ease out of the ways that you were stuck. And then when we did the chakra stuff, your chakras like expanded and relaxed and unblocked overall. So then it was like those two things, the non-resistance and that first, and then just the relaxing of the chakras and letting them expand and flow better through the chakra repair and unblocking section. Are you on your spiritual path? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sometimes you spiral on like, oh my God, what to do? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's why you were one of the sample people actually for that whole disaster plan work that we did. Update your disaster plan and clear your disaster baggage. There were many sample people for that, though it wasn't just you. But so you could redo that stuff. There are 3 things we did for that: the update your disaster plan, clear your disaster baggage, and heal disaster stuck mini U's. 3 things all in a row. So you could redo that. That would be nice. You could get even more out of today's healing if you redid those 3 chapters. The disaster chapters of the healing. And those will be 3 separate timestamped little chapters that you'll see at the bottom, and you can just, you know, click on one of the chapter titles. You'll see them all, and you can go right to that section within a day, assuming I have electricity. I mean, if I don't have electricity for like a full day, then that would delay making the chapters. But if I lose electricity, it probably won't be for all day, so I'll still be able to get it done probably. Someone says, thank you. I feel pretty confident. Oh, content. And think I may need to keep it gentle today. That sounds good. Yeah. I did feel a bit spacey throughout the healing, and the feeling is still there. Am I on my spiritual path? Yeah, you are. When somebody keeps distracting you, you know that friend, she's a female friend, and there's like just, you know, weird ambiguity there. She's on your path, like in front of you, right to your right, and she's like distracting you. I don't know why she does that. I think somehow you're like a security blanket for her on a subconscious level, but it's really not helping you because it's like a big massive block in the front of your aura. But because it's like a sort of like she has this benevolent intention, it's like you don't wash her out because you're used to people who are being mean or thoughtless or whatever, and she's kind of like, well, we can comfort each other, you know, which is fine. Comforting each other, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you would have to kind of put your foot down and be like, yeah, but we're going to comfort ourselves, each other in a way that is empowering, you know, so that you're not like a giant block in like the front of my aura, you know, like just, you know, kind of it's not that she can't be an empowering, supportive person. It's just that's not her default. Her default is a little bit of like a codependent, subconscious, you know, hogging up the front side of your aura kind of person. But so anyway, just wash her out and be like, hey, you know, ask your angels how we can do this cleanly. Okay. Talk to you later. You know? But yeah, I think that's the spaciness is just her. Someone says, I've been struggling with this lately and I already feel more confident after the healing. Perfect. Yeah. At one point you were a sample person. I don't remember what part you were a sample person for. I think it was the disaster stuff. Update your disaster plan, clear your disaster baggage, and heal the disaster stuck mini U's. Yeah. So you could redo those parts once they're timestamped. Are there any angel messages around becoming more of a spiritual badass? How many chakras am I currently in? You're currently in 7 through 2 right now. This morning, you were in 7 through 4, like within the first half hour of you waking up, and then you were in 7 through 3. So you got a little more present. Your grounding got less blocked, but still like the left side of your grounding was blocked. So you could like check both sides of your grounding. You know, like sometimes it's kind of useful rather than just like unblocking your grounding or checking your grounding, check the front versus the back or the left side versus the right side. You know, it can kind of just be useful to compare one side to the other, because then you can notice like, oh wow, that one flows much better than this one, you know, and then you kind of notice stuff better. So I think that could be nice if you compare and contrast different sections of your grounding, because a lot of times you'll be releasing a lot but only from like half your grounding, and if you just unblock the other half, it could just have a nice chain reaction where things flow better, and you can click more in and be good. Actually, one thing too, that the tree trunk, shoulders and hips, you were not the sample person for that, but the tree trunk, shoulders and hips section actually would be great if you could redo that, if you want. You could get a lot more out of the healing by doing that a couple times. And you say struggling with this, meaning with being a spiritual badass. Yeah, I understand. Any angel messages? Yeah, your angels are just like tree trunk. So just do that, unblocking the tree trunk with the shoulders and the hips more. They like the disaster plan stuff that we did, those 3 chapters that'll be like clear, update disaster plan, clear disaster baggage, and heal disaster stuck mini use. But they like the tree trunk, shoulders and hips part like 3 times more. So if you're only gonna do one part, they're like, do the tree trunk, shoulders and hips unblocking above here and then in the shoulder joints and the hip joint. Okay, hope that helps. Someone says, thank you. Wow, people keep going. I'm gonna have to wrap up soon. Thank you, Janet. My chest felt tight during the healing, sort of anxious feeling, but also like heart palpitations. I think I've been releasing a lot of past life stuff. Anything else to work on? I think you and your husband on and off were courting each other. I did notice that at one point, and you guys cleared the cords, but then I guess later it's hard for you two, because like you both need to clear a lot, and sometimes it's like you're afraid of, like, he wants to move forward a lot, but then he's nervous. Like, if you move forward, does that mean, something's going to happen to the marriage? Or, and if you move, and then you want to move forward a lot, but you're like, oh, is that going to change the marriage in some way? And you guys both have a lot of fear around that. So maybe just hand your fear about whatever could happen to your marriage, better, worse, for whatever reason, just hand all your marriage related fears to your angels. I think that's something you could do regularly. Because, sometimes a relationship, a friendship, or a marriage, it's like, it's just perfect, and it's perfect, and, perfect enough, and so there's not that concern. But sometimes that's not at all the case. And you're like, well, I really don't know if this marriage is going to be around, a couple of years from now. And that can be very disconcerting. So it could be triggering. I think if you work on clearing kind of like worst case scenario baggage, because whatever's good for your learning and your wellness and the wellness of your children, and, it's like, in the end, it's good, but when you're headed into it, it seems very terrifying. So I think, it's not to say that you guys are going to get a divorce. I have no idea. I don't read the future. But it's good to clear. Yeah, I think it could just do it as clear worst case baggage. Whatever that is. Maybe the worst case is staying with him. Who knows, But just clear that kind of the fear of the unknown, of like what might happen. Because I think that's why you guys on and off keep courting each other during the healing. But then you do uncord each other and clear a lot, but then you cord and then you unclear and progress more. So, yeah. So just keep clearing the fear of the unknown as it relates to your relationship with your spouse. Just worst case scenario fears, that kind of stuff. And that the grounding and non-resistance, the grounding chapter that we did right in the beginning, we worked non-resistance way more than usual in that grounding chapter. So that could be really nice for you to redo. The non-resistance. Yeah. So hope that helps. But I mean, overall, you have been clearing a lot in the last like 3 or 4 days. And you've been letting your angels help you and support you. So it says, thanks for the healing, Janet. You're welcome. I feel the same as usual. Is there more benefit to me healing myself at the same time as you, or do it on my own the next day? I think that depends. I don't think it's the same. Even just for you, I don't think it's the same each time. You know, so there's no set like, oh yes, you should do it this way. Also, I've had really bad sleep the past few days. Is that related to the healing? How can I tell in the future? When a healing's coming up, there are like extra astral classes and extra astral healings that you can opt into, done by angels, specific to, you know, like prepping you so that you can get even more out of the healing. So, but that's not the kind of stuff that would make your sleep worse, though. That would generally make your sleep better, because it's just angel healings. So, if something's making your sleep worse in the last few days, you know, I would suspect the usual suspects. Like it looks like you're meeting with a couple different people on astral levels that are not safe. And then you get into weird sort of invasive situations with them in your sleep, and then you wake up not feeling right and you don't want to go back to sleep. Like your mom, and then like 3 different social situations with 3 different people. You know, you could heal the parts of you, like, you know, when you did that heal mini use, heal the mini parts of you that don't listen to your angels. Because what happens is you have these sides of you that are kind of like pissed off, you know, at your life, you know, like, oh, this should be happening differently in my life. And you're taking it on your angels, and it's causing you to not listen to them when they're trying to protect you about different things. Like, you know, they're trying to be like, yeah, that's not a good astral level to meet your mom on. And you're like, I know, but I just have to tell her something. And then like you get into a big, like nasty thing with her. And that may even just be your astral body. So you're like still awake, and that keeps you like agitated. So you can't fall asleep, you know, but it's like there are parts of you that are so pissed off at your life but you're stuck in being pissed off at your angels. And so they're giving you, you know, they're trying to guide you and be like, that's not a safe astral level, you know, that's not safe to do. And you're like, oh, well, I'm going to do it anyway, you know. So just heal the mini yous that are really pissed off and not listening to safety information from your angels. Yeah. I think that would kind of pinpoint what's going on with your sleep. And probably what's going on with a couple other situations in your life. But yeah, as far as should you have healed yourself during this healing, I think your angels were like, yeah, why not? And you were like, well, I'm just not feeling it. And they're like, okay. You know, I don't think it's like a huge tragedy one way or another, you know, but I think your angels were suggesting that you heal yourself during the healing. Like maybe not the whole time, you know, but just like, you know, for like a half hour and then do something else, and then listen and do it for another half hour and then do something else. So yeah, there was some benefit to you doing some of the live healing on yourself, but you know, your angels weren't like adamant about it. All right. Someone says, thank you, beautiful soul. Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you. Someone says, thank you. That makes a bunch of sense. She came to mind during one of the disaster healings and a bunch of times yesterday. Yes. I thought it was me being fixated about our friendship. Once she gets distracted, she'll ignore me and then comes back once things don't work out on her end. I thought it was my inner baggage of friendship that was blaming myself. Yeah. It's funny, you know, she reminds me of a friend that I had once, and he was very disassociated from what his astral body was doing, like his astral body. So he was like all romantic with me, like on the astral level, but like consciously he was like, what? You know, it's not all about you, you know, like he like had no idea consciously. I mean, I guess he was in denial consciously about what the rest of his spirit was doing, but the rest of his spirit was like, oh my gosh, we're together, you know, we're such a great pair, you know, blah blah blah. But then consciously he was just like off doing something else and being like, well, you know, why do you think we're a thing, you know? Like, where'd you get that from, you know? So it seems like she has a similar thing where she just sort of disassociates and her spirit wants to hang out with you all day. Her subconscious spirit wants to hang out with you all day, whereas on a conscious level, she's just, you know, doing other things or whatever. But, you know, whatever. I mean, it just, it can get in your way if people are being that invasive about it, you know, and so, yeah. But, you know, she means well. That other guy meant well too, but, you know, that I knew, but I got so confused by it that I wasted a lot of time and energy over it. So the effects were kind of harmful for me, but not that he meant it that way. Alrighty. It was this low. I was wondering if doing these energy healings replace body practices like yoga, or are doing these healings enough? Thank you. Yeah, that's a good question. I would say ideally do them both. You know, do physical stuff and then do this stuff if you have time. You know, like for example, the shoulder work that we did, the shoulder and neck work that we did. A nice complement to that could be stretching, but it could also even be going to a chiropractor. You know, we have a nice chiropractor in our area. We had the best chiropractors in Chicago. We were so spoiled in Chicago. If you're in the Chicago area, Dr. Black and Dr. Lena. She has this really complicated Eastern European name that I don't remember, but she goes by Dr. Lena. My husband used to see Dr. Lena, and then I used to see Dr. Black, but they work together. They're two women. They have this office, and we used to go and have appointments at the same time. He would see Dr. Lena, and I would see Dr. Black, and they were so good. And they used to be trained by this doctor, Dr. Pazminsky, who was a chiropractor. He's in heaven now, but he was, oh my God, he was like so amazing. He was so good at what he did. But, you know, so if you can find a good practitioner of like acupuncture or chiropractic or, you know, some kind of body level stuff, it can be a really nice complement to this type of work. Also, of course, doing stretching, doing yoga, doing cardio, doing, you know, weight training, all that stuff can supplement it. I'm sure it was a mistake that I only did this type of stuff for so many years, you know, versus doing both. I mean, there were times when I did a lot of acupuncture. I received a lot of acupuncture treatments at the same time, or, you know, when we were in Chicago, I did received a lot of chiropractic treatments as a sort of a supplement to this type of energy work. But in hindsight, I should have, you know, done regular cardio more often and physical, like muscle strength training, like workout type stuff as well. Just to be, you know, maintain the physical power and strength. It would have been wiser for me, to be more into physical exercise, as well. But yoga can get very physical as well, you know, and can get really into physical strength. So yeah, I wouldn't say one or the other. I would say both, you know, try to do both to whatever extent you feel like is right for you at the time. But, you know, going for walks, cardio, stretching, physical strength stuff, treatment from physical level practitioners like you know, reflexology, massage, chiropractic, acupuncture. You know, it's not that you have to do all of what I just listed, right? Those are just ideas. But yeah, energy healing would not be enough. You know, you need physical strength. You need, you know, cardiovascular wellness, you know, stuff like that. Hope that makes sense. Good question. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I like this theme. I followed along and feel some residual anxiety, but we'll keep clearing, grounding, and you know, that little heart emoji's in the way. I can't read the last part of your comment. And something, a walk. Oh, take a walk later. Yeah, the residual anxiety, at some point after we did chakra repair, you got a whack. So you're just repair again your chakras, especially first and second chakra, because you have it's like on this side, on your front right side. And so the whack came in this way, and there was a little bit of blocked energy here, so that sort of amplified it. And so you have cracks in your second chakra and your first chakra in the front. So that's that anxiety. The chakras, they don't work right if they're cracked, and it's easier for, you know, invasive energy to come in, and that's that jumpy weirdness. So just repair your first chakra and your second chakra, and melt the cords, and then, you know, repair your aura right there. There's like 2 of your Wei Qi auras have these gashes in them, right? So just a little bit of aura repair and chakra repair. And maybe, yeah, that would probably be enough. And you could redo, once I get the chapters, you could redo the tree trunk chapter. It'll say tree trunk, shoulders, and hips. That could be, I think, helpful for you with your creativity. If you unblock, it's unblocking up here and the shoulder joints and the hip joints. All right. But yes, walking sounds great. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the healing and the live stream. And the second healing that completes this twin set will be on Tuesday. And I will show, do I have a garden update? Not much. I mean, the rain is going to really help the soil for the most part. So that's good. Because parts of the front yard garden that I still haven't planted in, they're like really dry because I haven't been watering them, but now they're not dry anymore. So that like solves a big problem, because it's hard to rehydrate dirt once it's really wet. But anyway, so I already did the garden update. Anything else about the garden? No, that's enough. So then we'll just do Izzy Cam. So I'll show you Izzy. Of course, he's in his little cat carrier that he shoves himself into. So when I show him to you, the mic will be far away from me. So you won't be able to hear me for a minute while I'm showing him. But he's very cute. He's doing well. And I'm going to order a slightly different food for him. I accidentally ordered the wrong like variety of food for him, and I think that's been a little harder on his intestines. So I figured out my mistake finally, and so the next box is going to be, I think, even better for his delicate little intestines. So he's been okay, living the good life. All right, so here he comes. I'm going to show you our dog Izzy. Not in the carrier. There you go. He decided to clean his crotch for us. All right, you guys, you're amazing. I hope wherever you are, you're dry and safe and warm and comfortable. All right, bye. Take care. We'll do some double confetti.